Hey there, gaming enthusiasts. Welcome to Gaming Axia, your go-to source for all amazing games. 2025 is looking absolutely stacked for open-world games. From massive RPGs to next-gen survival sandboxes, this year is all about freedom, exploration, and epic worlds to get lost in. And today, I will make a list of 20 new open-world games that are set to take over 2025. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. On number 20, we have Where Winds Meet. This is an open-world action RPG set in ancient China during the Ten Kingdoms era. It's being made by Everstone Studios and is planned for release on PC and PS5 sometime in 2025. You will play as a young martial artist, either a swordsman or swordswoman, on a journey to master powerful wuxia techniques. The combat looks fast and flashy with a focus on parries, counters, and cool martial arts powers. You'll get to fight with classic weapons like swords, spears, dual blades, fans, umbrellas, and even a glaive. Plus, you can learn special abilities by copying animals, like breathing fire like a dragon or roaring like a lion. It looks kind of exciting. On number 19, we have Hell Is Us. This is an open-world game where you play as Remy, a peacekeeper who returns to his war-torn country to search for his parents. But things have changed. After an event called The Calamity, strange supernatural creatures now roam the land. This game does something bold. It removes the usual hand-holding we see in most modern games. There's no map, no compass, no glowing quest marker. Instead, you explore and figure things out for yourself. Clues come from conversations or visual hints, like following wind chimes through a dark forest. This game is coming out on September 5th, 2025, and it'll be available on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X or S. On number 18, we have Light No Fire. This is the next big open-world adventure from the team behind No Man's Sky, and it's shaping up to be one of the most ambitious games ever made. This time, instead of an entire universe, they're building one massive planet, a world as big and detailed as Earth, completely open and procedurally generated. Mountains, oceans, forests, deserts, all ready for you and your friends to explore. The devs say this world could hold billions of players, and every structure, every landmark, and every journey is part of one massive shared experience. Not gonna lie, that's really wild. On number 17, we have The Sinking City 2. The Sinking City is making a big comeback, and it's changing things up in a huge way. This time it's a survival horror game with a semi-open world where you'll explore the creepy city of Arkham, search for clues, and fight terrifying monsters inspired by Cthulhu mythology. Let's talk about the new combat. It's built completely from scratch. More intense, more brutal, and way more detailed. There's even a wound body system where enemies show exactly where and how they've been hit. The developers at Frogwares are going all in on combat and exploration. Unlike the first game, which was more of a detective adventure, this one puts a bigger focus on action, survival, and player freedom. On number 16, we have Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. This isn't your typical Xenoblade game. It's not tied into the main trilogy, so you can play it without knowing anything about the other titles. You play as a custom character who wakes up from stasis and joins an organization called Blade. Your job is to help keep peace and find a lost ship system called the Lifehold, which holds the rest of humanity. The open world of Mira is the real star here. The map is broken into hexagons, and every hex has something to do. Fight giant monsters, uncover hidden items, take on quests. You place probes around the world using a system called Frontier Nav, which becomes your main tool for managing exploration, income, and progression. On number 15, we have Chrono Odyssey. This is one of the most exciting new open-world MMORPGs made by the Korean studio Npixel. Now, this game was originally supposed to launch back in 2022, but things have changed. The devs decided to upgrade the game engine from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5, which means better graphics and more detailed environments. Chrono Odyssey has a job system kind of like Final Fantasy XIV, though it's been scaled down. You'll choose from 6 classes, and each one can use 2 different weapons. You can switch weapons in real time, so combat is fast and flexible. The world itself is seamless, no loading screens between areas. You'll explore, fight, and take on open-world bosses with other players. On number 14, we have Borderlands 4. It's the next big looter shooter from Gearbox, and it's dropping this September 12th, 2025. We're going to a brand new planet called Kairos, with new vault hunters, a wild new story, and of course, tons of loot. This time, the devs are calling it a turning point for the series, and from everything we've seen so far, they're not kidding. Kairos looks awesome. It's filled with deadly creatures, war-torn zones, and factions fighting for control. The world is made up of 4 massive zones, all connected with almost no loading screens, and it even has dynamic weather. It's not a full open world, but it's the most open Borderlands game we've seen so far. On number 13, we have Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. This game is a dark twist on Arthurian legends. Right from the start, you see a world full of skeletons, blood, and some pretty messed up stuff. Torture, experiments, all done supposedly for the king, but long after he's gone. It's bleak, but super powerful in how it sets the mood and story. The game world is huge and open, kind of like the Elder Scrolls, and you explore in first person. You'll find quests everywhere with choices that really matter. You can make friends or enemies, and what you don't do can be just as important as what you do. On number 12, we have Dune Awakening. Life on Arrakis is tough. Every drop of water is precious, and danger is everywhere. That's the world you step into with Dune Awakening, an open-world survival MMO from Funcom. This game takes place in a different Dune timeline. No Paul Atreides, no Fremen. Instead, you face scavengers, deadly Sardaukar soldiers, and giant sandworms roaming the desert. And trust me, those sandworms will eat you if you're not careful. You start with nothing, no tools, no shelter, so you have to build everything yourself. Mining, crafting, exploring, building your fortress, and growing your power is super rewarding, but the path there can feel slow and sometimes frustrating. The game really asks a lot of patience. On number 11, we have Assassin's Creed Shadows. The series finally landed in feudal Japan. Combining samurai and shinobi styles makes for a fresh and fun Assassin's Creed experience. The story starts strong, showing Yasuke's journey from a slave to a samurai for Oda Nobunaga, and then Naoi's path to becoming an assassin. You'll spend a lot of time hunting down enemies, investigating, sneaking into castles, and taking out targets. Once you get past the first act, you can switch between playing as Yasuke or Naoi anytime. This is a huge plus. Yasuke is all about brute force, smashing through enemies with his giant club, while Naoi is a stealthy ninja, sneaking and climbing through shadows. Both styles feel balanced and exciting. On number 10, we have Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. This sequel builds on the first game with cooler sci-fi story parts and way better stealth and action. It's beautiful, creepy, deep, and most importantly, really fun to play. If you liked the original but felt it was a bit uneven, this one hits way more of the right notes. You play as Sam Porter Bridges again, delivering cargo across Australia's wild, changing landscapes. You'll need to plan carefully. The weather and terrain really challenge you, from sandstorms to earthquakes, making every trip feel alive and tense. The story digs deeper into the world's mysteries and explores big ideas about how technology and the digital world affect us. It also talks about real stuff like gun culture and human connection, all wrapped up in a strange sci-fi adventure. On number 9, we have Crimson Desert, a brand new open-world game coming later this year from Pearl Abyss, the same folks who made Black Desert. This game is built on their own Black Space engine, and it takes us to a huge fantasy world full of exciting battles and epic stories. Crimson Desert isn't an MMO like Black Desert Online. It's a single-player adventure where your choices actually matter and can change how the story goes. The game promises intense boss fights, cool weapon combos, and even alchemy to upgrade your gear. Plus, you can fight on horseback, which just looks super cool. If you love open world games with action and story, this one's definitely one to watch. On number 8, we have Dying Light the Beast. The game finally has a release date. It's dropping on August 22nd, 2025, so we're just a month away from jumping back into this awesome zombie world. You'll be reunited with the original hero, Kyle Crane. This time, it's been 13 years since we last saw him, and after surviving some brutal experiments, he's got some wild new powers. Think of him like a zombie-fueled beast who can go full rage mode and smash zombies with his bare hands. But watch out. If he loses control, things get crazy. The game will be on PC and modern consoles. It's expected to offer over 18 hours of gameplay, so plenty of story and side missions to sink your teeth into. On number 7, we have The Outer Worlds 2. It's the sequel to the 2019 sci-fi open world game, and from what we've seen so far, it's going to be bigger and better in almost every way. You'll play as your own customizable Earth Directorate agent, picking quirky perks and flaws, learning cool skills, and choosing how you want to tackle problems, whether in combat or just talking your way out of trouble. The game takes place on a new planet called Arcadia, which is ruled by different gangs fighting for control. Your mission is to figure out what's going on with a dangerous tech called skip drives that's messing up space-time. The setting feels like a mix of Fallout and World War I, but set in space with a lot of factions and tricky politics. On number 6, we have Gothic 1 Remake. Even though I've never played the original Gothic, the Gothic Remake has really caught my attention every time I've seen it since it was first announced. The game looks and feels like exactly what I want from an open-world RPG. Detailed, deep, and reactive, but not trying to do too much all at once. One cool thing they stressed is that the game has almost no UI. No minimap, no glowing markers to show you where to go. You have to use your eyes and surroundings to figure out where you are and what to do. The map you get has to be found in-game, and they said there's no yellow paint, which is awesome if you don't like those easy guides. On number 5, we have Subnautica 2. If you love deep-sea survival games, you're gonna want to keep an eye on Subnautica 2. It's the next big chapter in the underwater adventure series from Unknown Worlds, and it's planned to hit early access sometime in 2025. You're still diving deep underwater on some alien planet, just like the first games, but this time it's way bigger, more dangerous, and a lot more ambitious. The devs are calling it their biggest Subnautica game yet. Now here's the wild part. This one actually has co-op. Yep, you can play with up to 4 people. So if exploring creepy alien oceans alone freaks you out, you can drag your friends down there with you. But don't worry, they said it's still a single-player game at heart, so if you prefer to go solo, you're good. On number 4, we have Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. The team at Virtuos did a solid job keeping that old-school Bethesda jank alive while giving the game a fresh coat of paint. It's now running on Unreal Engine 5, and yeah, it looks incredible. The lighting, the skies, the textures, it's the best Oblivion has ever looked. But then you zoom in on an NPC's face and you're like, wait, something's still off. And that's kind of the beauty of it. The leveling system also got a tune-up. You still pick a class with main skills, but now it's way harder to mess up your build or get stuck like in the original. You can still roleplay your character, but if you suddenly want to try out illusion magic 10 hours in, go for it. It's much more flexible now. On number 3, we have Ghost of Yotei. So this game is finally coming this October. And yeah, it's looking like one of the most exciting PS5 games of 2025. It's the follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima, but this time we're heading to the wild and snowy lands of Izo, a region on the edge of Japan, known today as Hokkaido. You'll play as Atsu, a lone mercenary on a revenge mission. 16 years ago, a gang called the Yotei 6 destroyed her family and left her for dead. Now she's back, with a list of names, and she's not holding back. What's cool is, you can hunt down those targets in any order. You get full freedom to explore, sneak, fight, and shape the story your own way. Kind of like a choose-your-own samurai adventure. On number 2, we have Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This game is the most over-designed thing I've ever played. Every single system is cranked to the max. Like, you need to manually sharpen your sword with a grindstone, and if you mess it up, your weapon sucks. Want to save your game? Gotta drink a potion or sleep in a bed you've been given permission to use. But also, you can just hit save and quit anytime. It's that kind of contradiction everywhere. I have to say though, the game looks great. Some of the quest writing is super clever, and I admire how committed it is to being its own thing. It doesn't try to be a crowd pleaser. It wants you to come to its level, and I kind of respect that. On number 1, we have Monster Hunter Wilds. If you've played Monster Hunter before, you know the deal. You go out, fight giant monsters, grab parts off their bodies, and use those to craft better gear so you can take on even tougher monsters. That loop is still here, and visually, this might be the best looking Monster Hunter yet. The game still has a few problems though, but personally, I'm still planning to put hundreds of hours into this game. I'm just hoping Capcom gives it the post-launch love it needs. Tweak the wound system, add harder hunts, bring back some of the grind that made past games so addicting. And there you have it, fellow gamers. Which game is your favorite? Did we miss one that deserves a spot on the list? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more epic gaming content, and ring that bell so you're always up to date on the latest and greatest games. Until next time, and happy gaming!